re-election in 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari has finally appointed mandate secretaries equivalent of commissioners in the states for the Federal Capital Territory FCT. The president equally approved the appointment of the chairman FCT Ministerial Task Team on City Sanitation Atta Ikaro as senior special assistant monitoring, inspection and enforcement to the FCT ministers. Justin.
It's interesting, so this article gives us a long list of people who've been appointed and the roles they've been appointed to. And this is something you see across all arms of government, all levels of government. You see it in the federal government, you see it at the state level, where governors are running states without commissioners. You see it at local government levels where you have a chairman and everybody else is, And it makes me begin to wonder, do these people actually have a job to do, or are we just ticking boxes? Because if you've run the FCT
for this long, and we are at the tail end of this administration, I mean, we're going into an election year. It begins in a couple of months, and it's a countdown all the way to the wire. And we have this laundry list of people who've been appointed as Secretary Social Development, Secretary Transportation, Secretariat, Secretary Economic Planning, Revenue Generation, and PPP. Now, these are mandates commissioners, right? It's enshrined in the Constitution that this role should be filled. But if you found, so the question that begs answer is, did we neglect the services that these people were supposed to provide? Did we neglect the roles that these people, so who's been in charge of revenue planning and generation in the FCT, right? If this role was not filled up until this time, who has been doing that? Or has the government basically abandoned its duty, like one could arguably say in a whole lot of areas, right? And it's one of those things that make you go, But we welcome them to office, welcome them to their new roles, and we wish them the very, very best. Let's move on to this day newspaper. I'm coming to you, Wade, and this is all about insecurity. It's the headline reads, attacks, kidnappings along Kaduna-Abuja Road, national shame, says ACF. The Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, has described the attacks and kidnappings along the Kaduna-Abuja Road as a national shame, declaring that it is completely unacceptable. The forum, in a statement on Monday by its spokesman, Mr. Emmanuel Yahweh, condemned the killing on Sunday of Halaji Hamida Sagri, a retired director of protocol at the Federal Capital Development Authority, that's FCDA, and a governorship aspirant in Zamfara State. Now, Sagri was said to have been killed on Sunday by bandits along the Kaduna-Abuja Road, while several others were said to have been adopted. Wadi.
First, my condolences to the family of Alaji Sagri. But it's funny that it takes how many years for ACF to come up and make a statement about Abuja Kaduna road and bandits and kidnapping. They didn't see it. All the innocent Nigerians that have been kidnapped and killed there, because now someone who is a governorship aspirant dies, who is probably a top person in that hierarchy, and all of a sudden they remember that the federal government and the Kaduna states have not been performing their responsibilities. It's a huge shame that 3-4 years since this kidnapping started, the federal government comes out every day and tells us, we mourn the loss. But these are Nigerians that are dying. It doesn't need, it doesn't have to be a former director in the FCDA that is killed before organizations like the ACFs come out and condemn these things and talk to the government every day. Nigerians are dying all over the place. Kaduna, Abuja, just name the highways. Bandits have taken over. Security is zero. And every month, when they share the federal allocation, all the states get their security votes in complete amount, and nobody is saying anything. It's sad, but this is, it's good that they're saying something now, but This is way past time that they should have done this. They've not condemned it. This is the first time I'm actually reading about it.
Well, it's well and good for us. There's plenty of condemnation going around, Mr. President condemns,
but no action.
As we hear, Mr. Vice President condoles. The media aides send out heartfelt, I don't know how much premium the families who've been deprived of loved ones, breadwinners, can bank on condolences and commiserations and call-outs like this. The government is failing in what is a cardinal duty of government according to the Constitution, the protection of lives and property of Nigerians. We cannot say this enough. And it's sad to keep seeing things like it. It's almost become the norm. I literally am inured to reaction now.
Exactly.
It's become statistics, numbers, right? But sometimes we need to step back and remember that it is people, humans, husbands, fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, nephews, cousins, children that are being killed and kidnapped every single day all across the country. And there are several stories linked to this.
Yeah, which we're going to take, right?
Which one do we pick? Story 7, the hotels and houses burnt as gunmen kill a soldier.
There's so many.
Was it number 2 that talks about 29 policemen killed in 2 years by Boko Haram?
So here's the thing. That Abuja-Kaduna stretch of road is a known hotspot, has been for years. But you could drive for miles and miles and you would see no overt security presence. In contrast to that, I challenge you to drive from Benin to Asaba in the south.
No, drive from Lagos to Benin.
Towards the southeast, or from Onitsha down into the south. You can see roadblocks by heavily armed security
every 5 minutes.
No, 5 minutes is far because you can see one standing from the other. And I'm speaking from practical experience. You're at one and you're literally seeing the other one down the road. That's how militarized that area of the country is. But here you are, heavily under policing a place that is a hotspot like this, and it just beggars belief, man. What are we doing? What exactly is going on? And I don't know that anybody has the answer, because I definitely do not.
What do you want to ask? Yeah, go ahead.
The president will come out and console and
condemn the actions.
Yeah.
Okay. They stand condemned.
Let's move on to Vanguard here. We're going to go to that number 2. We're talking about inside of the last story there. So you can, I'm coming to you here, Justin, to sort of, I know you've given your thoughts on the last story, but help us make sense of these numbers and just sort of the impact on the economy and so much more. This report, it's a geopolitical research group called the SBM Intelligence, and this is a report that's been reported by the Guardian newspaper. The headline reads, 367 soldiers, 29 policemen killed in 2 years by Boko Haram armed bandits. Of course, a geopolitical research group, SBM Intelligence, has said that between 2019 and 2021, a total of 337 soldiers, 29 corps, and civilian JTF members were killed in ambushes in the northeast and bandits in the northwest. The group, in its report, also said 111 others were eliminated by the terrorists.
Rhetoric is very important. I like the way that SBM has framed the report. I like the choice of words, because we've had this really interesting play of words as these crises have escalated across the country. We've had words like bandits. We've had words like, or phrases like unknown gunmen, unknown men, or men known
non-state actors.
Herdsmen. This is simply acts of terror, and we should call them what they are. The people who perpetrate these things are terrorists. And one group of people that I really will give a shout out to is the combatants who are on the front lines, putting their lives on the line where it matters, and really taking a hit for the rest of us so that we can sleep easy. Condolences to their families. I don't mean to sound like the state, but really, my heart goes out to the military and to the military families who are losing people. These are shocking numbers, right? 367 soldiers. When you are not at war.
You're at war.
Well, there's no declaration of war by the National Assembly, right? Okay. So we are not at war as a country officially, for all intents and purposes. Okay. But we are losing 367 soldiers, 29 policemen, and because of the paucity of data,
111 others,
and 111 others, unknown dead men, or unknown dead people. And we carry on with the day-to-day. So you hear the sound bites, oh, we are building bridges and we are commissioning roads.
And taking more loans.
And the government of the day is doing well. I'm sorry, the government of the day is not doing well. If you can't save lives, if you can't preserve life, if death becomes us every single day, then no, there's no other index that matters.
If death becomes us every single day, there's no other index that matters. That should be on a t-shirt somewhere. This message is from Sheon here. It goes, the ACF is not serious. The North is safe. Buhari is doing well. And that's from Sheon there. This is Jerry. It goes, good morning all. Can you see why we pray the killers and the kidnappers should leave the common citizens alone? Osaho comes here with, went to Benin on Friday, counted no less than 30 checkpoints. We move on now to the economy, and this is coming from Premium Times. Additional AFDB earmarks $563 million for agricultural rural infrastructure in Nigeria. The African Development Bank, AFDB, plans to spend $563 million next year on rural roads, transport infrastructure, water sanitation, and agricultural productivity in Nigeria. The president of the AFDB, Akinwumi Adesina, disclosed this in Kano State on Saturday when he paid a condolence visit to Aliko Dangote over the death of his brother, Sani. Quite a statement to make at a condolence visit, I must say, but what do you?
This is welcome development from the ADB. Since Adesina became president of the ADB, he's been trying so much to do a lot for Nigeria, and this is another welcome development. I think close to 3-4 billion has come to Nigeria from the ADB over the last 2-3 years.
You see the money?
I'm going there now. Okay. Just be patient. Now he says 563 million for agricultural productivity, water sanitation, transport infrastructure. Elections are coming. I hope these monies will come in and build these water infrastructures and agricultural productivity in Nigeria, because every time elections are coming.
And he said most of the money will go to Kano.
Yes, will go to Kano.
Just pointing that.
110
dollars.
110 million. They should please share us the proposal of the projects that are going to be done so that we can monitor them. Because every time we hear 14 billion for railway that gets to Niger, we haven't seen. These are all loans.
Most importantly, sorry, but I need to point out this one. So there's a quote from the governor of Kano State.
I was going to get there.
Read it out. Very important that you read out that quote.
Where's that?
And you mentioned technology.
In response, Mr. Ganduje thanked AFDB president for the new development. This is what we mean by genuine development, when institutions are strengthened and individuals or collections of individuals are rightly directed. We thank you. Oh no, it's a long one. We thank you for appreciating our modest development since we came into office in 2015. Modest development in 6 years. So my dream is to promote Kano into a mega city. And a mega city is not only a collection of population, it is a collection of an environment where things are working, where traffic flows, where health services are excellent, and aimed at reducing medical tourism abroad, and where you can have security using technology.
So that Mr. President will understand the technology that was used eventually.
It is such an amazing thing that monies are coming into Nigeria as loans. Over the last 6 years, we tripled our loan portfolios from $12 billion to over 36 billion, and we cannot see anything. And this is another 563 million that is coming next year. Like Justin pointed out rightly, elections will start generally by, it has started now. Tinubu has started nominating people in different places as the presidential However, this money is going to come in. Where is it going to go to? It's so sad that we read all these things. Meanwhile, we've read today about security. And Ganduje says that we are going to use technology to secure our nation. They can't even use the ones that they have now. It's so sad. But we hope that these monies will come in and we will do the things that we are supposed to do. Like the president says, he's building infrastructure for, I'm not even sure that it's my children, maybe my children's children. And I hope they will see it.
Yeah, they will be the ones paying the loan, so.
Oh boy. Let's move on now. We're going to circle back to insecurity here. I'm coming to you, Justin, for this one. This is from this day. Hotel houses burnt as gunmen kill soldier in Imo. Gunmen on Sunday afternoon killed a military officer when they attacked some soldiers in Awo Mama in the Oru, East local government area of Imo State. In reprisal, military men regrouped, stormed the town, and allegedly burnt a hotel, cars, houses, and shops. The incident, which happened at Ishieke Junction in the area, has caused panic in the community, and many individuals of the community have fled as soldiers took over the community. Justin.
The Southeast is being treated like occupied territory. I say it with my full chest. And I don't know that it bodes well. I don't know that that's the way to win the peace. If there are agitations, I don't know that bringing down the hammer. And you can look at several places around the world where agitations have been quelled with the force of the gun. You never really quell anything. You drive it underground. It becomes almost guerrilla warfare. It goes on for years. There's no development. The quality of life drops. This is what we are seeing unfold in the Southeast. The military operations in the Southeast are anything but effective, if you ask me, because on all sides, people are caught in the middle, right? Of, if you want to call them insurgent groups, if you want to call them agitating groups, everyday citizens who are non-combatant are caught in the middle between the military and those groups. If you want to call them the IPOBs, if you want to call them the ESNs, if you want to call them unknown gunmen, whatever you want to call them, there are people who want to go about their daily lives, right? We've created this hostile environment. So whoever they are, accost and kill a military officer. How is the response? How is the state's response? Because the army is acting on behalf of the state. They report to the commander-in-chief, who is the head of government, Mr. President. How is the response? And this goes beyond this administrator. We saw it happen in OD, in Bayelsa State, during the Obasanjo era. A whole village was wiped out, right? Because, a soldier was killed or soldiers were killed. Well, the women and children who the armies came and killed didn't kill any soldier, right? So rightfully, the people who did this should be hunted down and apprehended, the people who killed a soldier or killed soldiers. But please, how is the response going to war with the ordinary, everyday people of Nigeria? It is indefensible. And I pray and I hope that one day, as long as we have life and breath, one day, the people who are superintending this kind of carnage will be brought to book. On these shores or wherever, they will be brought to book.
And that's that. Let's move on to Punch newspaper here. Wade, the Nasima seeks Russia's help on Ajaokuta steel. The national vice president of the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Adetokunbo Kayode, has said that Nigeria is ready to do business with Russia to boost its economy. Kayode also called on Russia to assist Nigeria towards resuscitating the Ajaokuta steel mill to just pretty much help the country's industrialization. I don't know. Is this industrialization?
I'm not sure I can pronounce the word.
Industrialization.
Ajaokuta steel. Again. 42 years. This thing has been built. It was built in 1979. It has not brought out one bar of steel.
I remember in primary school there was a passage on Ajaokuta steel.
Billions of dollars have gone in here. I have no problem with doing business with the Russians. That's fine. But not to tell me the technology of Ajaokuta that was built in 1979 was a 1930s technology. and then you want them to resuscitate it. Each government, Jonathan government wanted them to resuscitate it. Yaradua's government, Obasanjo, who brought it into Nigeria. Let's be clear about it. Wanted it.
You know, there are certain things in Nigeria that are
do you understand?
The go-to funding mechanism for party activity.
Exactly.
Elections
are coming again. So we're looking for investments to come in that would never see the day of light. Or the light of day. So anyhow you call it, 42 years. The child that was born in 1979 has children. Some of them, if he gave birth at 16, if he gave, no. But just on a true note, if the child gave birth at 16 or 18,
he'll probably have a baby by now.
He has a grand. What are you talking about? The 18-year-old has given birth to another. So and this is what we're talking about. Please, now they should spare us all this, please. They should not waste our time and get monies into the country and we don't see anything happening. It hasn't happened in 42 years. I don't know why it's going to happen now. That's why it's going to happen. Like I said, elections are coming. So everywhere, to anyhow that you want to get some forms of funding into the system.
No, another angle to it is, you know how there was this picture circulating, was it last year, 2 years ago, where we had sent a delegation to some trade conference. So you could see the Nigerian delegation on one side of the table, and was it the Chinese on the other side of the table? Everybody had a notebook on the Chinese side, writing,
and the other men were all
and the Nigerian side were just
without paper,
showing off swag.
They had their phone.
And their phones.
They will record the conversation.
Record now.
Just in technology. So, you know that the governor of Kano State has told us that we need technology.
Why they please leave Kano State? You know, so another angle to this is, so the Russian ambassador was coming for a meeting, and how much preparation do we put into these things? Somebody would have just thought, in my imagination, right? Somebody just thought, we think concern us with Russia. Jakarta. Let's say something about Jakarta, you know? And you just read how fatuous the comments are, how empty and almost airheaded. There's nothing to say. It's just about Jakarta.
Listen, Russian investors, they want to set up Russian export free zone. All the free zones we haven't finished. Nigerian free zone, we haven't finished using them. Please, they should spare us now.
Just talk. Really.
We have messages here. This is from YouTube. Olise Ebili goes, this AFDB funding project. Hope not the same project that has been funded before. Hope it's not the same project that has been funded before. I think that's what he's trying to say. This is Mikora Son Global, and he goes, Nigeria is now a failed state. On WhatsApp here, this is Joseph from Silver Estate, Jibo, Lagos, and he goes, good morning, freshly pressed and your vibrant commentators. Let this government remember the law of karma. How long are they going to continue in these daily tragedies? Yet they pretend or behave as if it's part of the change they promised Nigerians. May God comfort the families of the bereaved. Jerry here goes, reprisal attack by the military, but we hear of more killings of military officers in the northern states. But it's even said it shouldn't be reported, not to talk of reprisal. It's this double standard handling of affairs that is causing most of the insecurity that we see. Yinka Bolu here goes, why am I not comfortable with these dollars coming from AFDB to Kano State, especially when I see Alhaji Gandhi around dollars.
But it's not only to Kano State.
It's not only to Kano State. Yeah, he just made a statement, and then he goes and says, while I don't support the revenge attacks of the army, actions of the army, but people need to understand that you don't kill a uniformed personnel and not suffer its ripple effect. These guys are not normal. See, guys, I'm even more afraid of an army officer, an army uniform than a policeman in person. And that's from Yinka there. This is Shane when he goes, it's amazing. Is that Nigeria? What is amazing is it that Nigeria doesn't realize that you cannot resuscitate something that never lived? How? And this is I don't know why you're sending me your number there. And this is you didn't leave your name though. So anyway, I'm just gonna take it. It goes, good morning everyone in the studio. In Nigeria, life what's nothing. But what's the population of great Israel? By my knowledge, less than 10 million. But if a soldier is killed by their enemies, they revenge by killing 50. Here in Nigeria, our soldiers are killed like chickens. May God help Nigeria. All right. Well, I mean, each person with their own thoughts there. Let's move on now to going to Punch newspaper. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Evelyn Ngige, said on Monday that the ministry had disbursed 56.84 billion naira of the 75 million micro, small and medium enterprises survival fund to 835,161 beneficiaries. Ngige, who said the fund was to strengthen the MSME sector, gave the breakdown of the disbursement as it was at 8.80 billion naira to 293,336 beneficiaries under the Artisan Support and Transport Scheme. And the numbers goes on and on and on, and we don't have enough time, so I'm going to need the two of you to jump on this. So I want to go first. Wade, Justin? Wade?
Okay, so I would say well done if he actually got to these SMEs. Part of it was for payroll from the COVID-19. We remember that at one point in time, the president said there was a 75 billion naira fund that was available. Justin, do you have anything to say? Because I don't
know who the monies were distributed to. Artisan Support and Transport Scheme. I see a lot of poverty out there, and I truly hope that money's got to some people. I'm not going to be asking which part of the country you distribute the money, but if money got to anybody, got to some people, it's all well and good, because it's real out there, man. Guys, I did now 1,000 naira or something like that.
How many
have you seen the new kind of setting? Have you seen the new kind of setting? Have you guys seen the new one? It's called
I don't eat sardine again.
And why? You can't afford it?
Oh, you mean you still buy? We'll call it EFCT.
Guys, it's wonderful having you join us. This last message here is from Iduma Buzu from Sulere. It goes, how many Nigerians have been killed, would be killed or adopted before Boko Haram nicknamed bandits and all other terrorist gangs be declared terrorist organization, since they are quick in declaring IPOB a terrorist group? May God help Nigeria. And this is Gilbert Musa here. It goes, good morning to Judith and your guest. I'm Gilbert Musa. The soldiers are not justified in reprisal attacks. The right thing is to conduct investigation, then other things will follow. Tosin here goes, what is dead will never die. Ajakuta. That's what I'm saying. And Yinka goes, Judith eating sardines. Where you see this money? Soon FM pays me well. I'll tell you that for free. Yinka, they pay me too well.
Justin, maybe we need to
please do.
Put an application.
I beg to apply.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on board.
Thanks for having us.
Big shout out to Justin as well as Wade. You can find Justin on Instagram. It's at Justin EJ, and Wade is Wade Ahime _ on Instagram. Thanks, guys. This brings us to the very end of Freshly Pressed 981. Join us inside of 8 o'clock, 8:10 a.m. sharp for Lagos Talks 981. My name is Judith at TV. Good morning.